This video brought to you by AEP Foundation.
Welcome to my office, explorers. Today on our adventure, we're going back in time. I can't wait for you to see where we're going today. Before we go, you need to go download your free Explorer Passport at Center in the Square's on-demand page so you can follow along as we adventure. Remember, all you need to be a good explorer is an imagination, a willingness to learn, and the ability to ask questions. Ready to go, explorers?
Hello, explorers, and welcome to the T-Rex Trail at Explore Park in Roanoke, Virginia. It is not available year-round, so be sure to check out the Center in the Square website for when it will next be open. My name is Lex, and I study paleontology. Do you know what that is? Paleontology is the study of ancient life, from dinosaurs to prehistoric plants, mammals, fish, fungi, and even microbes. Fossil evidence can show how organisms evolved through time and can show us what the planet was like a long time ago. Today, we're going to go back in time to the Mesozoic era and see when dinosaurs roamed the Earth. We'll see 4 different time periods, including the Triassic, Jurassic, and the early and late Cretaceous. Now, before we begin our adventure, let me set the stage. Before dinosaurs were on land, there were many sea creatures in the ocean already evolving. Thanks to the shape of the supercontinent, Pangaea, the Earth had one large ocean which gave plenty of space and habitat for ocean animals to evolve. These ocean animals would eventually die off or evolve into smaller animals over millions of years. For example, the horseshoe crab has existed for 445 million years, making it the only living fossil in existence today. The majority of fossil fuels that we are able to mine are from these prehistoric ocean animals and plants as they decayed due to the high pressures in the Earth's crust. Refer to our video on minerals for more information. Did you know that you can look fossils and determine lots of things? We can use fossils to help us have a clearer understanding of what the atmosphere of Earth was like millions of years ago. Scientists have discovered that there was more oxygen available in the atmosphere millions of years ago by looking at fossils, as well as drilling for ice and dirt cores in various parts of the world to measure how much trapped oxygen and other gases are in these cores. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about what dinosaurs ate? Do we know how to figure that out? Fossils! The fossil record can help us figure out so many different things about dinosaurs. Now, are we ready to begin our adventure? This is the Herrerasaurus. We're now in the Triassic period, and the Herrerasaurus lived 237 million years ago. It is the very first meat-eater dinosaur to evolve. Meat-eater dinosaurs are called theropods. So we have a lot more Jurassic bones and Cretaceous bones in fossils because millions of years are in between these time periods, and in those millions of years you can get a lot of erosion by wind or rain or river, anything chemical. And so it destroys a lot of the bones, or they get buried on top of other dinosaur bones. This is Stegosaurus. We are now in the late Jurassic period of about 150 million years ago. So we traveled 100 million years. And then we get this guy here. He is an herbivore, and most herbivores walk on 4 legs. Not all of them do, though. This guy, he is famous for the plates on his back. Those plates are not really for protection. His blood runs through there, and it's a built-in air conditioning or heating unit for him. His main line of defense is his bony tail. His bony tail is called a thagomizer. The Jurassic period is when birds very first started to evolve. It also allowed for more diversity in dinosaurs. You get this guy and his cousin Ankylosaur, as well as different sauropods like longnecks, or theropods like I said before, which are meat eaters. We are now in the early Cretaceous period, and the early Cretaceous period was around 115 million years ago. So this guy right here is our Tenontosaurus. A Tenontosaurus is part of the Iguanodon family, and Iguanodon was actually one of the very first dinosaurs ever to be discovered. They eat plants. Plant eaters are called herbivores. Dinosaurs that prey on plant eaters are called carnivores, or meat eaters, like the theropods I talked about earlier. This guy is one of our most abundant dinosaurs. He is like a cow. All he really does is really just eat plants and is prey for the other dinosaurs, like Deinonychus. We are still in the early Cretaceous, now looking at the predator of the Tyrannosaurus, Deinonychus. And Deinonychus look a little familiar to you. They look exactly like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park. The velociraptors in Jurassic Park are modeled after Deinonychus. They get up to 10 feet tall, and they're very fierce. Their name even means terrible claw. You can see on their arms there, they have feathers, and those feathers couldn't help them fly just yet. However, they do evolve eventually into flight with Microraptor. However, these ones are just to keep them warm and also to help them run faster. That's also why we see their stick straight tail there, and it's to help them counterweight and keep their balance as they run really fast. They could run up to about 25 miles per hour would be their about average speed. They have around 74 teeth, and in fact, their bones are found very often with the Tyrannosaurus, so we can assume that their main prey was those iguanodons. These Deinonychus hunt in packs because they are the ancestors to velociraptors. And as we know from Jurassic Park, velociraptors hunt in packs. The Tyrannosaurus you saw, the prey, he is probably going to be eaten as lunch. We are now entering the late Cretaceous period, which is about 108 to 65 million years ago when the dinosaurs died. This is Parasaurolophus. She is an herbivore, and here you can see her nest. Dinosaurs laid eggs just like birds do. That's how we know that birds are descended from dinosaurs. Parasaurolophus is really unique because her crest there, you can see, is connected to her nose. And because of that, she can push a lot of air through her nose, and it makes a really cool, unique noise, just like a low trumpet noise, sort of like elephants. This is the only dinosaur we know exactly what they sound like, and that's because scientific efforts have been put in to recreate her skull and her crest and bounce sound waves off of that skull. Parasaurolophus, like most herbivores, moved in herds. And because they moved in herds, this low noise they would sound like a symphony of dinosaurs as they moved across the earth. We are right in the heart of the late Cretaceous period, 75 million years ago. This is one of the last herbivores to evolve, Triceratops. Triceratops is named after the 3 horns on their heads, but the ceratops is really what makes it. Their main line of defense is the bony frill that they have on their neck. Their horns were a little flimsy, so they couldn't just ram into T-Rex and scare them away. They'd probably break. But Triceratops have 800 teeth. They are little tiny sharp teeth in rows and columns all the way in the back of their mouth. So they use their beak to grab onto plants and then use those 800 teeth to shred them up so that it doesn't hurt their stomach. We are now at the very end of the dinosaur era, 65 million years ago. Here we have our king, the T-Rex or Tyrannosaurus Rex. T-Rex, you would think he's a really big predator who would run really fast, but his top speed is about 17 miles per hour, and he only walks about 3 miles per hour. That's because he's huge. He has to keep up his weight, and so he can't run that fast, or his legs might break. He weighs 7.5 tons. He's got 60 sharp teeth, about the size of bananas. And he also probably bullied all the little smaller predators we saw earlier. So this guy, he's got little tiny arms, and that's because his bite force is one of the largest and strongest bite forces of all animals ever. So this guy, he could probably about grab 500 pounds of meat in one single bite. So he doesn't really need his arms if he just has a big giant mouth to bite everything in his way. Just remember, paleontologists are still learning as we go along. You can too. All of the science that we see here, really is just educated guesses and theories of what we know right now, currently. What we knew back in the 1800s and the 1900s is a lot different from what we know now. It can continue to evolve, especially with your help. One of the coolest dinosaurs, in my opinion, is the Sinosauropteryx. It is a compsognathid that lived around the late Jurassic period, and because of the way it was fossilized, we see filament feathers, which are little small feathers, kind of like a chick's, and it's preserved on the bone itself. It's really cool and one of the best preserved dinosaur bones we know. It was found in China, and it is also, we know exactly what color it was. It's around a light reddish orange with a banded tail of white. You may be wondering why dinosaurs are still not roaming around the Earth. The Earth's plates were already moving and shifting, which was leading to a drop in temperatures. But since the Earth's plates take millions of years to shift, could dinosaurs have evolved in response to these changes? The rapid loss of dinosaurs and their habitat is due to one possible theory, the KT event, or also known as the KPG. Remember those dirt and ice cores mentioned earlier? Scientists were finding a layer of iridium, an element that is only found in space, in the same layer that corresponds to the same time as the extinction event. Then, in 1991, a massive meteor crater, 110 miles in diameter, was discovered at the edge of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The object that caused the crater was 6 miles in diameter and struck the Earth at 40,000 miles per hour. It was 2 million times more powerful than the most powerful nuclear bomb detonated. This impact created devastating wildfires, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, throwing out gases like sulfur and plumes of smoke that covered the Earth for at least a year or more. It also decreased the availability of oxygen that may have helped the dinosaurs become so large. The existing food chain collapsed and could not support the majority of life on the planet, except for the small mammals that could find food below the surface or on the surface as the planet cooled enough to bring a new era of life onto Earth as these mammals evolved. The diet of these small mammals really allowed them to survive the extinction event, as they preyed on insects and aquatic plants, which were now abundant after the meteor strike. Other classes of animals that survived included birds and crocodiles. Crocodiles could survive due to their ability to go and live under the water. I hope you guys learned a lot about the dinosaurs today. A big thank you to Roanoke County Parks and Rec and for Explore Park for hosting all of these cool dinosaurs. Thank you for adventuring with me today. See you later, explorers!
Welcome back, explorers! Wow, I loved seeing how those dinos moved and sounded. It seemed so real. What was your favorite part, explorers? Remember to write down what you learned and discovered in your free Explorer passports. You can find them on Center in the Square's On Demand page. Have a great day, explorers, and keep exploring.